Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the channel. Hope you've all had a good day. Hope you're all well in this cold weather. I've got to stay warm. Good game tonight. Leeds United versus Norwich from Ellen Road. I hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am. It's a game that's vital for Leeds to keep the pressure on at the top of the league. If we do look at the tables, see that Sheffield United went top last night after their win. That puts them 2 points in front of Leeds. Obviously, if Leeds win tonight, then they'll go above them. So it's vital that they stay in this race, because Sunderland are putting pressure on as well. They're on a good run at the moment. They've won 3 out of the last 4 games. Sheffield have won all of their last 3 games. So it's really tight at the top. And it should be a close game, this. I'm not expecting... So it's vital that I'm not expecting Leeds to run away with this, even though Norwich are riddled with injuries at the moment. I'm expecting that this will be a tight game. I don't expect Norwich to just roll over and die in this one. Leeds are going to have to work for anything to get out of this game. And that's why it should be a good one. It'll be a good test for Leeds. But as we all know, Leeds have got a fantastic home record at the moment. They've won 4 of the last 6, drawing 2. So that's the best record in the league by far. And they'll want to keep that going. So, having mentioned that Norwich have got injury worries, let's have a look at the 2 teams. So, start off with Leeds, and it's Meslier is still in goal. Daniel Farker has really shown complete faith in him, even though he probably didn't deserve it. But as it is with all goalkeepers, a couple of good games, a couple of good saves, and they'll be right back at top of the form again. And Meslier is only 23, 24. They always used to say that goalkeepers don't usually mature till they get to about 28, 29. So he's got a lot of maturing to do and a lot of experience. And if Leeds do stick by him, you never know, they might end up with a really top-class goalkeeper in a couple of years' time. So it's Meslier in goal, and then it's Bogle, Rodon, Ampadu, who's still playing in the back 4 in place of Strauch. And Byram is the other left fullback. Tanaka, Rothwell, James, Aronson, Solomon and Pirro. So it's a strong side that Leeds have got out there. They have got a strong bench as well. So they are one of the better squads in the league. Norwich have Gunn in goal, and it's Stacey, Duffy, Doyle, Christen, Fisher, McLean, Marcondes, Swarto, I think that's pronounced, Hernandez, and then Dobbin. So that's the 2 teams as we see at the moment. The game's 8 and 9 minutes from kickoff. So everyone who's joined us so far, thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate you supporting the channel. If you're not a subscriber, please do become a subscriber. Hit the like button on, of course, the notification bell, and get your comments in. Join in the live chat as the game goes on. Get your comments in. Let us know what you think, how the game's going. And, of course, if you want to, give us a score prediction. What do you think? Score prediction today? Leeds to win it? Leeds not to win it? Let us know what you think. There's the scoreboard at the moment. I'm just going to round that off a bit just for aesthetics. That's better. So we're not far off kickoff now. It will be a full crowd at Ellen Road again today. It always is. You can't get a ticket for any of these Leeds games for love nor money. And God knows I've tried. Norwich at the moment, languishing down out of the playoffs at the moment. They're down in 12th position. They were on a bit of a steady little run, having won 3 of the last 4 games before the loss at the weekend. So they were on quite a good run, on 36 points now. Still in touching distance of the playoffs, only 6 points behind. So it's a vital game for Norwich, really, to get some points out of this if they want to carry on and press for that top 6 position, which is Blackburn Rovers at the moment. West Brom, of course, lost last night, so they've dropped down. So if Norwich do win, they're going to 39 points. So they're all the way up to 9th position, above Queen's Park Rangers, who are on a terrific run at the moment. Have won their last 4 games. So, Norwich will be right back in it. If Leeds get a draw tonight, they'll stay in 2nd position. So nothing but a win is going to put Leeds above Sheffield United. Just looking at the pictures from Elland Road, sprinklers are on, water in the pitch, so it should be nice and slick for a good passing game. The pitch looks immaculate. It looks like a playing on a carpet. Gone are the days where you were playing on a mud pit covered in sand. So we are just 5 minutes away from kickoff. You can get your comments in and let us know what you think. Give us a score prediction, where you think the game might be won and lost today. There's a few Norwich supporters in the ground. It's a long trip for Norwich to all the way to Leeds. Except for Ipswich, I think all the games for Norwich are long trips. Looks a cold night as well. Everybody's wrapped up with their hats on. Scarves are wrapped around their necks. So what do we think? I'm always reliant on my predictions is that Leeds score early. If Leeds get among them early, I think it could be a 4-0 job, this. It's all dependent on Leeds scoring early. Leeds are doing so well at home in all games, but they just fail to put teams away. You know, when they're dominating teams, they fail to put them away. They're not ruthless enough. They're not putting enough goals in the back of the net early on and really seeing teams off. Much like the game against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday, where they were 1-0 up right until the last couple of minutes when they scored 2 goals to win 3-0. But, I mean, right up till then, Sheffield Wednesday were right in it at 1-0. And that's what bothers me about Leeds, is they're not ruthless enough and they don't see teams off quick enough so that the game becomes comfortable as it's getting towards the end. So I'm hoping that Leeds have learnt by this and the manager's learnt by this and be ruthless early on. Go for the jugular, put these teams away and then enjoy the rest of the game, basically, without the tension. And you can feel the tension in the crowd as the game goes on, and it's only 1-0. Leeds have lost points this season from winning positions late on, so hopefully they won't do it again today. We're just looking at the tunnel on the TV there. The teams have not come out yet, but they won't be far away. A lot of youngsters in the crowd. It's nice to see youngsters in the crowd. The teams are coming out now. The officials leading them out. And go through the usual stuff of lining up on the halfway line, the shake hands with the teams and the mascots, a couple of photographs. We'll be underway in a couple of minutes. Still a chance for you people to join in the chat and let us know what you think the score's going to be. Is it going to be a tight game, or are Leeds going to run away with this one early on? We shall see. Excuse me a second, I'll just put that back to 0. Bloody thing. There we go. So it does look like the lineups will be as such as I just come to show you that as we go through the teams again. Leeds are playing a 4-2-3-1. I think that's normal with Pirro playing right up front. Norwich are a bit more defensive with a 4-3-3. I guess you would expect that at Ellen Road. With a back four, a 3 in midfield, and I'll guess they'll be expecting Swartzow and Dobbin to get back and support when Leeds are attacking, to tighten that midfield up, to pack it out so that Leeds can't play through them. Leeds are playing their usual attacking formation. They're going to go for it in this game. They always do at home. Two managers just shaking hands. A smile on the faces. Nice to see. Camera's just focusing on Dan James, who's had a terrific season so far. Goals and assists. If he has a good game, Leeds will be on the way to 3 points. Solomon Rodon as well on the opposite side there has come into a bit of form after an injury hit start, but he's scoring goals now and looking good. He's a threat on that left-hand side. And Leeds have got a lot of attacking force wide out, and I expect them to get the ball wide early on. So Norwich are going to kick off this first half, kicking from right to left. Referee takes a look at his watch. Another quick check, blows his whistle. And away we go. No, wants it back again, restart again. Now we're underway. Goes all the way back to Gunn, who drives it long down the middle. But that's going to go over the top of everybody. Goes all the way through to Melier. And he gathers it. Aronson has it just over the halfway line. He swaps passes with Bogle and gets Dan James away. He puts a cross in early on. And Leeds have scored early on. And it's Solomon Rondon. Manus Solomon. Well, it was a great play by Aronson and Bogle on the halfway line. They swapped passes and then put Dan James away on the right-hand side. He got to the edge of the box unchallenged, put his cross along the 6-yard box, and Solomon at the near post side-footed it into a fairly empty net. And what a great start for Leeds. Just got in front of his defender, Stacey. Just got in front of him, must have got across the front of him. Great play by... Yeah, it's great by Dan James. It's a great cross. Just inviting someone to attack that ball. Just a start Leeds wanted. What a start. Another good start. Leeds started well on Saturday with a goal early on by Manor Solomon. Let's hope that Leeds can, like I say, be ruthless now and put a couple more in before half time to really seal this game and not have a nervy second half. Rodon. Ball's played forward by Bogle, looking for James, but he was never going to get it. Pirro's putting pressure on the goalkeeper, who drives it out right-footed to the right. Sam Byron's in there. The ball doesn't go out. Byron has it, tries to give it to Aronson. Byron's gone down with a poor tackle, that. Poor tackle, that by Hernandez. And Hernandez gets a yellow card, so that's pressure on him early on. Sam Byron, he'd already played the pass before he was tackled by Hernandez. It's not a good tackle. So Leeds have a free kick wide out on the left. Good chance to swing one into the box. And looks like it's going to be Rothwell that's going to take it right-footed. Ref blows the whistle. Rothwell just steadying himself. And it comes now into the box. It doesn't beat the first man. It's headed away. Hernandez picks the ball up, but Rothwell tries to tackle him. Hernandez comes away down the right now. It's Dobbin. He's attacking down that right-hand side. It's gone past Aronson, gets the cross in. It's headed away by Bogle to the edge of the box. It comes. That was Fisher. It's blocked. But Norwich still have the ball on this left-hand side now. Goes back to the halfway. Dan James putting the pressure on Doyle. He goes across to the right. Leeds putting the press on, and it goes all the way back to keeper Gunn. That's Doyle coming out. He's surrounded by three people, but he gets the ball out. Well, it should have been to Christen, but it's too far in front of him, and it goes out for a throw to Leeds. Poor ball. Deep in their own half, puts them back under pressure. Tanaka. Ball's been taken away from him, though. Emiliano has the ball. He has it taken off him by Dan James. Dan James was pulled back, and the referee gives us the free kick just on the halfway line. Tanaka looks like he wants to take it. Pirro working hard. No. Just looking to see if there was an offside, and that build up Dan James, but it wasn't. It was a great run. Leeds have the ball again into the edge of the box. It's cleared away, high in the air. It's headed towards Bogle. Bogle manages to launch it forward. Aronson's battling for it. And Aronson gets the ball. Just let it run away from him, though. McLean comes away with it in midfield. Gets out to the left. Marcondes. It's Doyle. Gets the ball back. Doyle again. Over on that right-hand side. Back to Doyle in the centre. He plays it into midfield. Comes out to the left. Christen, but he has to go back to the goalkeepers. Leeds put the press on. Bogle putting the press on now. Tanaka. Tanaka goes diving in. And Tanaka's going to get a yellow card. Don't know, he fouled, but yeah. Tanaka gets a yellow. Leeds were really putting the press on then, and Tanaka was part of that. It's Marcondes who's gone down. Ball goes out to the right. Stuffy goes down the line. Sam Byram's in there. Ampadu gets his toe to it. Goes out for the throw to Tottenham. Taken quickly. McLean seeing a lot of the ball early on, but that ball is headed back by Leeds. Picked up in midfield. Comes out to the left. Goes back. Dobbin. Miliano. Lays it back down the line from Marcondes. He fouls Tanaka right on the goal line. Poor foul to give away there. All he had to do was just jockey his man, hold him there. As Leeds are going nowhere from that position. He's given Leeds an out ball there, hasn't he, by giving them a free kick right on their own goal line, close to the flag. And you see a lot of that in teams, commit fouls in those poor areas where they shouldn't do. The free kick's going to be taken by Melier. Left-footed, drives it long. Goes up for it. It's Pirot. Ball comes into the midfield. Norwich give it back to Doyle. Doyle goes across to the right. He gets it back from Duffy, does Doyle. Comes forward. Plays a long one in the inside left position. It's picked up by Ampadu in midfield, though. He comes across to the right to Bogle. Bogle's being forced back. Goes out to the left. Comes back. Inside. Rothwell gets it. He's got nobody supporting him. He has to go right back. Out Tanaka. Out to the right. Jubb. It's Bogle. Bogle gives it to Dan James, hugging the touchline. He's attacking him again. Ball's deflected. It's kept in by Norwich, though. And now Tanaka gets in. Dan James just couldn't quite keep the ball in, and it goes out for a throw to Tottenham, to Norwich. I think Daniel Farker thought that ball had gone out. Volleyed forward. Ampadu can't control the volley. It's well defended by Rodon, though. He cleans up Ampadu's mistake there as he was under pressure from, I think that might have been Swartow. Ampadu has the ball now. Gets it back from Rodon. Plays it into midfield to Rothwell. Rothwell comes out to Bogle. Goes back to Ampadu and then to Rodon. Just on the centre circle there. Gives it back to Ethan Ampadu. He goes down to the right to Dan James, who's come short for it. Played inside to Aronson. Aronson gets the ball down the line for Bogle. Can he get it? Can he keep it in? Just can't catch up with it. It was just a yard too far. Good play again, though. Leeds down the right-hand side. Ball's taken short, goes to Gunn. Leeds putting the squeeze on there. Rodon puts the pressure on. Dan James has picked the ball up. He gives it to Aronson. He's got a chance to cross it. It was blocked, and then it was deflected when it was trying to be cleared into the 6-yard box, but Gunn comes out and takes an easy catch there and cleans everything up. It was a foul there by Sam Byram. He got in front of his man, and the bounce beat him, went over his head. Sam Byram gets a yellow card for that. So that's 2 Leeds players booked early on. Ref throwing his yellow cards around. Sam Byram tries to get in front of his man, and man just gives him a nudge, and the ball goes over Sam Byram's head. And then he's away. The free kick is right over on the right-hand side. It's just a couple of yards in from the touchline, and it's only about 10 yards in from the halfway. So it's a long free kick here. It's taken short down the line, right-hand side. It's played back. Left-footed, it goes into the box. So the back, Bogle gets a flicked header on it, and it goes out for a corner. Well headed away by Bogle. Good defending. Corner on the Norwich left. Macondes, is he called? Likes to be called Emiliano, but it's his corner. Right-footed. And it comes now. So to the front post, it's headed away. Headed away nicely. It's picked up by Norwich, and it's recycled to the halfway line. It's flicked out again. Then that was Aronson who won the header. Leeds had the free kick. Second early. Looking for Dan James, who would switch to the left-hand side. Aronson still down after that. Down with a back injury. I think Leeds are going to say now, can we have the free kick back? But they took it early. Dan James had moved over to the left-hand side. He got a real knee in the small of the back, just above the hip. That's a painful one, is that? He's still down, is Aronson. Surprising that the referee didn't give a yellow card for that. He's given 3 out so far, and it wasn't the greatest of challenges because the defender had no chance of getting through Aronson to get to that ball. He just put his knee in his small of his back. Just looking at the goal again. Just looking at that Dan James move, see if he was offside, but he wasn't. It was a well-timed run by Dan James and a perfect cross. Class all over that. That was Premiership talent there. Thanks to everyone who's joined us. You're not missing anything at the moment while Aronson gets his treatment. Please do hit the subscribe. It'd be good of you to support the channel. We're growing slowly. Don't forget to hit the like button, and of course you can get your comments in, join in the live chat as the game's going on. Let us know how you think it's going so far. That throw is taken. It's with Doyle, centre midfield. He gives it to Duffy's centre half partner. Back to Doyle. Dan James comes to engage. The ball is still back with Doyle. It's just short of the halfway line, and they're going side to side, Norwich. Doyle gets it back just short of the halfway line. It's McLean who's got the ball down the right-hand side. Norwich looking to cut in now, playing good football on the edge of the box. A 1-2 strike from Hernandez. It did open up for him there, Hernandez, but he didn't have the composure to finish it. It was a scuffed, dragged shot that didn't trouble Meslier at all. It was a good 5 yards wide in the end. Obviously not his best foot, isn't his left foot. Aronson's away in centre now. He gets it through to Pirro. He's got a chance of a shot on goal, and he just delayed too long. And Duffy gets his blocking. Corner to Leeds, but a good counter-attack by Leeds there again. Pirro just needed to hit that a second or two earlier. It opened up for him, and he just delayed just enough time to get the tackle in from Duffy. Corner from the right-hand side. I would imagine that Rothwell's taking this. He usually does. Leeds not known for scoring from corners, but we shall see. And it comes. It's a deep one. It's headed away, though. It's picked up on the edge of the box by Dan James. He lays it back to Bogle. Bogle comes out to the right-hand side. Solomon looking for the return ball, but it was too far in front of him. Stacey lets it go out for a throw. Throw comes in. Hit up high. Tanaka underneath it. Can't get to it. It's headed forward. Tanaka wins the ball back. It goes loose. McLean trying to clear things up. McLean gets the ball back again. He's surrounded by Leeds players. And the ref gives the foul as McLean goes down. Comes out to the left. Christian down the line. Bogle's tight and wins the ball. Rothwell's battling in midfield, but the ball's been swept out to the right-hand side. Norwich with Hernandez. Ball's flicked in. It's headed away by Ampadu. Picked up by Pirro. Pirro's had the ball taken off him, though. Stacey won that ball back. Chance for a cross now. It's crossed high. Meslier's underneath it. And a good catch by Meslier on his 6-yard box. Difficult one, those that go high in the air and just drop straight into your arms. It's easy to drop them. But it didn't. Good handling. He's just been caught a couple of times on that right-hand side. They've got to be careful there. Rothwell comes all the way out to the right. Solomon has to go back. Goes back to Rodon. Rothwell. Dan James quickly engaged, but he wins the throw on that left-hand side, the far side, as we watch. Ball goes all the way back to Byram. Byram plays it inside to Tanaka, who's come short. Goes back to Byram. And then across the front of the defence goes to Rodon. Out to the right to Bogle. Bogle has to go back. Back to Rodon. Solomon comes inside. Is fouled. Tripped up by Dobbin. Free kick to Leeds. Pretty central. It's given straight away to Rothwell. Tanaka turning one way, doing the give it to Rothwell in centre midfield. Back to Tanaka. Out to the right to Bogle. There's a run from Dan James, it's given to Pirro inside. It's a good one-touch play by Leeds, but the last pass to Dan James is just offside. Yeah, just watching that ball that was played through to Dan James, I thought he's never going to catch that, not in a million years, and he did catch it. Dan James is onside there. Yeah, he was onside. That should have been allowed to carry on, but it wasn't. Ball's back with Gunn. Leeds squeezing on the edge of the Norwich box, but Norwich playing it nicely down the edges of Leeds. Ampadu tries to nip in and pick the ball off, but they're coming away with it in centre midfield. It's given to Doyle, goes out to the left to Chris Ennie, whatever he likes to call him. Doyle. Back to Chris Ennie. Back to Doyle. It's McLean. Goes out to the right to Duffy. Duffy goes to Stacey. Under pressure. Solomon's won the ball back. He's having to go all the way back to Meslier, though. Well played by Solomon. Meslier, left-footed, plays it out to Bogle, who goes back to Rodon. Rodon to Tanaka, back to Bogle. Dan James and Solomon have swapped wings again and back on the right and the left, respectively. Rothwell on that left-hand side for Leeds. Turns one way, turns the other. Gives it to Ampadu, goes across to Rodon. Bogle gets it on the halfway on the right-hand side, running forward. Plays it inside to Pirro. It's a good ball. Pirro, it's opened up for Pirro. He has a shot. Slipped as he took the shot, and it just looped in the air and straight into Gunn's hands. At one moment, it looked like left-footed. He was going to hit it into the far corner, but slipped as he hit it. It's a good touch by Pirro, and he opened him up on his left foot. Just unlucky with a slip. Yeah, it's just his standing foot as he took the shot slipped away from him. But Leeds have got the ball back again on the left. Solomon chips a ball inside. Pirro brings it down, turns, gets it, he lays it back onto the penalty spot, and everybody had ran forward, and the ball was behind them. But Tanaka wins the ball back in centre midfield. Leeds putting the pressure on now. Tanaka has to go back. There was nobody across to the left. Sam Byram hadn't made the run, but he was covered. Comes out to the right to Bogle. Bogle gives it to Rothwell on this right-hand side now. He goes back to Rodon. Aronson, Bogle. Aronson's made a run and the ball goes through to him. Can Aronson make it? He gets his foot there. Aronson went down thinking that he had a penalty there, but he actually toe-ended it away for a goal kick, but appeal for the penalty. You never know because there's no VAR, is there? It's a great run by Aronson. Just looking at the replay there. No, there's nothing in that. Nothing in that. The ball just had a bit too much pace on it because Aronson did get to the ball, but he was stretching for it, and that's why it went out for a goal kick. If it had had a yard of pace off it, he'd have had a shot at goal there. The referee's just having a word with a Norwich player for some reason. Play stopped. Gunn drives it long down the middle. Headed away by Ampadu. Volleyed back forward. Played across to the left-hand side. Chrisen goes back to Doyle, who's high. Plays it inside. It's laid back out to Doyle, though. Picked up in the middle, goes back to Doyle. Doyle's retreated into his own half now, but it goes across to the left. It's Chrisen. Back to Doyle. Duffy now, under pressure. Slowly going back. Duffy has the ball. Pirro to put a bit of pressure on. Goes into midfield. Ampadu is beaten to the ball. It goes up to the far side to the right. It's a good cross to the back post. And Dobbin, it was just over his head. Ball's played back in there. It's deflected off Aronson. And Fisher has a shot from the edge of the box that's way over the bar. It was the first attack that they had there that was the one. Again from the right-hand side for Leeds. And it was just over Dobbin's head. It was a great cross to the far post. Goal kick's taken. Melier lays it out to Rodon. Goes back to Melier. Norwich holding a high line there, just on the edge of the Leeds box. Rodon has it again. Has to go back to Melier. Rodon gets it on the right. Plays one down the line. Dan James plays it inside for Aronson. It's too far in front of Aronson. Bogle tries to win the ball back. Tanaka does, but his interception goes out for a throw to Norwich. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the notification bell, get your comments in. You can do, join in the comments and the live chat. And of course, hit that subscribe button as the ball goes all the way back to Melier. Dobbin's going to put the pressure on, but Melier drives it long. It's all the way over the top of the defenders and over the top of Pirro, and it goes all the way through to Gunn. Doyle goes back to Gunn. Gunn gives it to Duffy. Duffy gives it back to Gunn. Leeds putting the squeeze on now. They're pushing forward. And they've lost it. On the edge of the box, it's Pirro. Rothwell tried to flick a ball inside for Solomon. It was Norwich have managed to dig themselves out of a position there because Pirro had it on the edge of the box, central, having put the press on. It's a dangerous position, but Leeds didn't make anything of it. So what I said about Leeds making themselves a more ruthless team by putting teams like this away when they've got a lot of pressure. And it's been 30 minutes now. It's still only one. Leeds want another one, maybe two before half time, just to make the second half more comfortable. Ampadu lays it out to the right on the halfway line. It's Bogle. Played inside to Aronson. Aronson goes down, lost the ball. Aronson stayed down. Tanaka. Dan James. Foul given. Foul given on Chrisen. That's what I mean about these 1-0 leads. Norwich are still in this game at 1-0. If the Leeds had stuck a second or a third in by now, that would have been the end of the game. Norwich would have been disheartened. But at the moment, they're thinking we can get something out of it. The longer it goes, the more likely they are to as well. As the ball goes all the way out to the right-hand side, right across the field. Played back inside. Goes all the way back to the halfway line to Duffy. Doyle gets it on the halfway line, central. Goes to Chrisen, or Chriseni. Swartow gives it to McLean. Duffy back to Doyle. It's all in front of the Leeds defensive line. Not really going forward. It's with Chriseni again. Doyle. Now he goes across field. It's in between two men. They have to run back to be able to stop that from going out for a throw. It's recycled back to the halfway line. Doyle goes long again on down the inside left position, but it's far too far for anybody, and it's a ball that rolls through to Melier. Probably run out of ideas, did Doyle there. Byram. Ball goes all the way across to Ampadu, comes across to Rodon on the right. Bogle makes a run, but the ball goes inside to Tanaka and out to the left to Rothwell now with a bit of space in front of him. Gives it to Solomon. It's just coming into the edge of the box now. He comes back on his right foot, lays it back out to Rothwell. Rothwell turns, gives it back to Solomon. Tries to get to the edge of the box and does though. Gives it to Tanaka now. Goes across to James. James to the right to Bogle. Back to James. Going across that box again. Plays it inside or tries to play it inside to Aronson. It went through Aronson's legs and all the way through to Gunn. Leeds doing well for possession-wise, but it's that killer pass in the last third that they're looking for. Norwich are attacking Leeds down that right-hand side, and they've got in a couple of times. Leeds have got to be careful down that right-hand side. They've got to tighten things up a bit. Norwich have a throw. Goes the way back. Stuffy gives it back to Gunn. Doyle gets it from Gunn. Goes back to Duffy. Duffy goes long, but it's a poor one. Leeds are going to pick that up with Ampadu. He turns and gives it out to the left to Byram. Ampadu. Back to Ampadu from Rodon. Byram. Solomon plays it inside. Laid off by Pirro. Comes out to the right-hand side to Dan James now. A chance to attack the box again. He has a shot. Always a bit of a slice on that, taking it away from that near post that he was aiming for. High and wide. It's got to go to the far post. If he's hitting it from there, you're not going to beat the goalkeeper at the near post. You've got to go across the goal. Ball's down the right-hand side for Norwich. Goes straight out for a throw to Leeds. Rodon gives it to Rothwell. Ampadu. Goes back to Ampadu. Byram gives it to Rothwell. Tanaka, Rothwell. Ampadu, just on the halfway line, goes across to Rodon, to Bogle. Bogle's closed down quickly. He has to go back. It's moved across to Ampadu in the centre of the midfield. Tanaka, Rodon. Plays it inside to Aronson. Aronson lays the ball down the line for James. He's got a chance to cross it again. He does, though. It's a good cross, but it's cut out on the edge of the box. Dobbins going backwards, though. Bogle wins the ball back off him in a dangerous position here now. Bogle hits one to the half. Hits one to the 6-yard box. It's deflected high in the air, and for a moment it looked like it was going in the top corner of the right-hand post. Just goes over. Did it deflect off a Norwich player, or was it a Leeds player it hit last? We'll just see us. Yeah, it's a corner. Almost went in the far post. Deflected off the legs of the defender. Rothwell takes it from the left-hand side, right-footed in-swinger. And it comes now. It's a deep one, this one, to the back post. It's aimed at Byram. It's picked up by Dan James close to the corner flag. He has to turn and go back. Gives it back to Byram. Byram comes back to Rodon. Bogle is going to go all the way back to Melier. Comes back out to Rodon on the right-hand side. He gives it to Byram, who's barged over and wins the free kick. Swart out, who fouled Byram there. Tanaka gives it back to Byram, who's on the right-hand side at the moment. He goes back to Rodon, who gives it across to Ampadu. Tanaka, Rothwell, Ampadu goes out to the left to Bogle, who's on the left-hand side. Must be a tactical change for the moment. Goes down the line for Solomon. And he wins the corner. Stacey thought it was his. Referee says no. The referee says corner to Leeds. Rothwell's going to take it again. Second shot. Solomon has it. Gives it back to Rothwell. Rothwell has to go back to retrieve it. It was just a bit out of his reach. Comes across to Bogle, central midfield. Rothwell gives it to Dan James now. He tucks back inside. So poor ball looking for Pirro. He's beaten to it. Leeds win the ball back on the halfway line though. And Rodon tidies up, gives the ball to Melier. He gives it back to Rothwell. Ball's played inside to Aronson. Solomon goes back to Rothwell. Then Ampadu plays it inside to Tanaka. He's crowded out, but he gets the ball back to Ampadu. Goes out to Solomon. Solomon again is pushed back, but he cuts inside now. Still has the ball as he plays it inside to Pirro. Good feet by Pirro. Gives it inside. Offside though. Yeah, it was offside. Half a step offside, Aronson. Five minutes before half time. It's what I feared. That Leeds have sat back a bit and invited Norwich into this game instead of going for the jugular and taking the game away from them by scoring another or a third. Ball's played long by Angus Gunn. Tanaka gets the ball away. He was fouled, but referee gives advantage. Rothwell goes long. Same for Solomon, and it was a good ball for Solomon, but the ball went across the face of the defender. I think Solomon was thinking he was going to knock it away. Didn't go for the ball as it ran towards the touchline. It ran out for a throw. Leeds trying to hit on the break. Stacey's going to take this throw on the right-hand side for Norwich. It's headed back forward by Byram. Picked up by Dan James, who's in midfield at the moment. Tanaka, turning one way then the other, lays it back to Rodon. Rodon gets out to Rothwell on the left-hand side, inside to Tanaka, back to Rothwell. Aronson joining in there with the passes. Comes out to Rodon, out to the right-hand side to Bogle. Bogle has to go back. Rodon goes all the way back to Melier. Ampadu gets the ball off Melier. Goes out to the left to Rothwell on the halfway line. He plays it down the line to Solomon. Solomon has to go back. He's under pressure. Goes back to Ampadu. Ampadu sweeps out to the right to Rothwell with a bit of Bogle with a bit of space. Dan James. Dan James flicks the ball forward. Aronson can't get it under control, and the ball goes out for a throw to Norwich. Ends up with Gunn. Pirro's putting pressure on Gunn. Gunn has to go long. Pushing the back there by Byram. Free kick to Leeds. Hernandez there. Quite obvious push. Ball's played on the inside left position, looking for Pirro, but is cut out. Pirro's working hard to win the ball back, but it's played forward, and then one ball played out to the left again by Aronson. Solomon or Pirro couldn't get to it, and it's drilled forward, but it's drilled straight out by Stacey, and it's a throw to Leeds on the left. Thrown to Rothwell. Rothwell goes back to Rodon. Rodon gives it to Ampadu. Ampadu goes down to Sam Byram. Byram comes back inside to Rothwell, then gives it to Ampadu. Ampadu into Tanaka, to Rodon, out to Bogle. Bogle goes back to Rodon. Rothwell. Back to Rodon. Bogle got it again. Bogle goes to James. Plays the ball in, but looking for Aronson, but Aronson had overran that ball. Played inside when Aronson was expecting the ball down the line. Ball's played out by Criseni from Gunn. Criseni gets the ball again. Doyle under pressure, gives it to Gunn. Gunn has to drive it right-footed to the halfway line. It's headed forward by Ampadu, picked up by Norwich. Criseni gave it to Doyle. Goes out to the right-hand side. Stacey. Goes all the way back to Duffy and then to Doyle. Two minutes extra time in this first half. Ball goes across to the left. It's cut out by Bogle. It goes high in the air, though. Dan James is trying to get into it. It does, but he can't control it. But then the ricochet favours him and gives it to Tanaka. Rothwell. Can Leeds get one before half-time? Solomon on the left. He's got Byram overlapping. Gives it to Byram. Can Byram get a good crossing? He can to the edge of the box. There's no one on the edge of the box. Picked up by Ampadu. Tanaka. He sprays one to the right to Bogle. Bogle with a volley at the near post. Angus Gunn powers it away for a corner. Best Leeds move since the goal in the second minute for Leeds. Looked like it was going in from Bogle. His first time volley was a good one. It was going in. Gunn had to save it. Great ball by Tanaka. Corner in the last minute on the Leeds right. I'm guessing it'll be Rothwell with a right-footed away swinger, and it is. Can Leeds get one from this? Another one against a free header. It's blocked, though. It's bouncing around. It's cleared away. Ampadu, Emiliano having a few words with each other. Didn't see what happened, but Ethan Ampadu wasn't so happy. Well, Ampadu did go down, but he had a man falling over the top of him, so I'm not surprised. But that's half time. Leeds off to a great start, but it's like I mentioned at the beginning of the game that Leeds just don't kill these teams off in the first half, and Norwich have had a few attempts. They've got in on that right-hand side. There was one that was crossed to the far post that was just over the top of Dobbin. They've looked dangerous down that right-hand side. Leeds have had a lot of possession, a lot of territory, but they haven't created anything since that first goal. And the only chance they've had after that was that Bogle volley that almost crept in the near post. Leeds have got to be killing teams off, got to be killing teams like Norwich off. They're an injury-weakened side, and yet it's only 1-0 after scoring in the second minute. And it's got to be a worry for Daniel Farke, as it is for the fans, that Leeds find it unable to assert their dominance and score 2 or 3 goals in that first half to make the second half a bit more comfortable. Now the pressure is all on, because at 1-0, the longer it goes for Norwich, the more they're going to feel they can get something out of the game. And Leeds can't afford to drop points at home. They drop a point in this game or two, and they're not going back to the top. And they've got a run of games coming up soon that are really difficult. Sheffield United, Burnley, amongst others. So these are the games where you've really got to assert your dominance at home. And just looking at scores so far, I'll try and give you some updates on scores. Let's have a look. If anyone's interested, Leipzig 2, Sporting CP 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 2, Brest 0, AC Milan and Girona 0-0. Arsenal are beating Dynamo Zagreb 1-0. Celtic 0-0 with Young Boys. Celtic have got to win that. Feyenoord 1, Bayern Munich 0. PSG and Man City 0-0 after 35 minutes. Real Madrid are beating Salzburg. Sparta Prague 0, Inter Milan 1. Besiktas 4, Athletic Club 1. That's a full-time result in the Europa League. As far as the Championship is concerned, well, we know the Leeds game. Portsmouth 2, Stoke 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Bristol City 0, and Plymouth Argyle 0, Burnley 3. So Burnley doing a job on Plymouth. How's that affecting the tables as it stands at the moment? Just take a look. If you bear with me, just get it back onto the Championship. I'll have a look in a minute. You've got a chance to get your comments in regarding that first half, guys. Do you agree with me that Leeds are not being ruthless enough? They've dominated that game, and they've only got one goal to score for it. Look at Burnley. That's ruthless. 3-0 at half time. Leeds have got to bury teams earlier than this, and they're not doing it. And teams are sensing that they can get something out of it, as Sheffield Wednesday did until the last couple of minutes. So at the moment, as it stands, Leeds go back top, obviously a point above Sheffield United. Burnley go up into third position with their winning position at the moment. Sunderland slipped down to fourth. And it looks like the top 4 there are beginning to cut away from the rest. Middlesbrough in 5th position are 10 points behind. So you're probably thinking that the teams below, or 5th and below, are playing for those last 2 playoff spots, because it looks like the top 4 is pretty sealed, and it's just a matter of what order they're finishing. So Leeds' passing accuracy in that first half is 89%. And you think that Leeds would have created more chances, but if we look at the stacks as far as it goes, total shots, Leeds 6, to Norwich's 3. So you can see that Norwich have been in it. They haven't been out of it at all. They haven't parked the bus. They've tried to be progressive of Norwich, usually with the ball down the right-hand side. But I think Leeds' inability to kill teams off early on is something that's been symptomatic of them all the way through the season, if I'm honest. Great play between Bogle and Aronson to set James away for the Solomon goal after just a couple of minutes. But after that, Leeds haven't really threatened until Bogle's volley just before half-time. Aronson and Pirro have not really been too effective in that game, apart from the pass from Aronson there. He really hasn't been that effective in the game. So he's been struggling with an injury, so it could be a reason for that. But you would think that with Ramazani setting up goals and scoring goals in the last couple of games, that you would see him on pretty early in the second half. Just looking at that penalty appeal there from Aronson as he went through the ball, just had a bit too much pace on it. He did get his toe to the ball first, but I don't think that Gunn fouled him. And I don't think it was a penalty. No, he didn't. Gunn pulled his hands away. Leeds' most dangerous attacks have come down this right-hand side with Dan James and Jayden Bogle linking together. Just looking at Dan James's shot in that half where he went for the near post when he should have gone across goal probably, but he sliced it wide. This is the goal, the volley from Bogle. It was going in. Gunn needed to save it, but he had his near post covered, and it was quite a comfortable save for him. But that's only the second shot that Leeds have had on goal, really. The only threat they've had, the first minute and the last minute. So if you want to join in the chat with us at this half-time period, let us know what you think. Would you make any substitutions? Are you happy with a Leeds score at 1-0 against an injury-hit Norwich City, where they've really dominated but failed to produce, except for that first and last minute, another real clear-cut chance? And that's got to be worrying for Leeds, especially with the games they've got coming up. They've got to be able to carve teams apart and score the goals, and they're not scoring enough. Not burying teams early enough. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Let me know what you think. You got a chance to. Don't forget, while you are here, please hit that subscribe button just to help the channel grow. We are growing slowly. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our live watch-alongs. The next one will be on Friday. I think it's Sheffield United and Hull City. Should be another good game, that. The top of the championship clash with a relegation-threatened Hull. Be worth watching that, so do join us for that. Hit the like button as well. Like buttons and subscribes are what really helps channels grow. I do appreciate it when you do so. Give that a smack for us if you will. Be interested to read any of your comments regarding this game or any games that are going on at the moment. Positions in the leagues, things that you may have noticed. Get it in the chat. Let's have a chat of it while we've got the chance to before the second half gets underway. I think I went for a Leeds win. And I did say as well, at the beginning of the game, if Leeds scored early, then it could be 3 or 4. And they did score early, and I thought, oh, here we go. I mean, it still could be. Leeds are known for scoring goals late on, and it still could be 3 or 4. But I was hoping for a couple before half time. Then I would have been more confident of a 3 or 4. Leeds really need to kill this game off with a goal in the second half. Put Norwich out of the game. Nobody wants to join in the chat today? Feel free to do it. Let's get this set up for the second half. Set up for the second half. Set up for a good second half. I suppose because it's 1-0 and Norwich still feel like they're in it and the chance of pinching a couple of points or so, yeah, that they're going to attack. They're going to attack. They're going to leave space at the back for Leeds to attack. It could be an end-to-end game. Certainly as the teams start to tire a bit, we may see quite an open game. Let's hope so anyway. Going to be a minute or so away from the start as the subs come out to warm up a bit. The Norwich manager's out already, so he's said enough for his team. Be a terrific stadium when it gets that extension to 53,000. Imagine what the atmosphere would be like at Ellen Road then, when you had another 16 or 17,000 onto it. Probably no substitutions at half time. I don't think either team needs to at the moment. I think Norwich will be quite happy with how it's gone after the start, after going 1 down so soon. But it's all on Leeds, really. I think if substitutions are going to be made early, it would only be because Norwich go a second goal down and they're looking to fight their way back into it. Daniel Farker, injuries apart, not known for making substitutions early in the second half. He doesn't usually do any till about the 70, 75th minute. So we shall see. Still waiting for the teams to come out. Nobody wants to predict a score? Nobody wants to let us know in the chat what they think this is going to end? I said 3 or 4. Still could be. Not looking likely, but still could be. What do you think? Norwich just coming out now. This new thing where they come out and do a few warm-ups, a few sprints before the second half. As if they've cooled down over the half-time break, and Leeds are having none of that. They're coming straight onto the pitch, but Norwich are doing a few shuttle sprints to warm themselves up again. Dan James, Solomon still on, so your two wingers are the same. Aronson looks like he's still on, so he's not injury hit yet. You would think hopefully Ramazani will get on sooner rather than later. Oh, Burnley are now 5-0 up. So they're romping away with this one. Leeds to kick off then, kicking from right to left. Here we go. 45 minutes to see if Leeds can go back to the top. Rothwell spreads out to the left. Byram. Ampadu. Rodon. Back to Ampadu. Coming back to the left to Sam Byram. Crosses the halfway line. Going forward. Gives it to Solomon. It was a bit of a pass that was really shot at him, and it was taken off him. Norwich have won the ball back. How Tanaka gets in though. Takes it off Schwartau. Still has it, Tanaka. He's got Rothwell with him. He's got Ampadu supporting. Gives it to Ampadu. Ampadu central. Halfway inside the Leeds half. Gets it across to Rodon. Goes out to the right. Stan James turns one way, turns the other. Gives it to Bogle. Bogle was just sold short there, and the defender gets in. Puts it out for a throw. Taken quick by Leeds. Camera's on Farker while the play goes on. Swept out to the left to Sam Byram. Byram goes back to Ampadu. Into Tanaka, out to Byram again on the left-hand side. Back to Ampadu. Rodon. Bogle. Back to Rodon. Going backwards, Leeds. Ampadu has it. He goes to Bogle again. Halfway, plays it inside, but it's a poor pass that's cut out. But Bogle does well to win it back again. Lays it inside to Tanaka, and Tanaka has a bit of space now to spread it out to Byram if he wants to, and he gives it to Byram on the left. Solomon to Tanaka. Back to Solomon on the left-hand side. Back to Tanaka. Tanaka to Byram. Solomon with a bit of space on the left, on the touchline now. Into the box, lays it back to Tanaka on his left foot. That's been forced out, but he's tried to give it to Solomon, and it was a poor pass that was cleared. It's picked up again by Leeds, by Ampadu, who laid it back to Mellier, who's well out of his goal, gives it back to Rodon. Rothwell gets it out to Bogle. Bogle to Dan James, hugging that right touchline. Aronson gets his cross in. It's a bit of a scuffed one that's easily cleared by Doyle. Left-footed for a throw to Leeds on the right-hand side. Got into a good position there, Aronson. Just does a bit of a fluffed his cross. Bogle takes the throw. Gets it back from Aronson, but lets it go out, and it's a throw to Norwich. Still waiting for that throw to be taken. It does come in. It's won back by Bogle. Gives it to Tanaka. Tight, but he gives it back to Bogle. Bogle tries to lay it inside. It's deflected off McConaughey's for a throw. Bogle takes it quickly, goes back to Rodon. Ampadu. Back to Ampadu from Rothwell. Back to Rodon. Rodon gets it to Dan James. Dan James gets a ball down to Bogle, who's overlapped. He has to come back inside. Gives it to Dan James again. Dan James gives it back to Bogle. Bogle coming inside to the edge of the box, has to recycle back out. Ampadu, Rothwell, centre midfield. Ampadu. Out to the left to Solomon. got Byram in front of him. Got Pirro making a run, comes inside. That's to lay it back to Ampadu. Ampadu gives it inside to Tanaka. Tanaka goes all the way across to the right to Dan James. Dan James brings it under control, flicks the ball inside, but it's meant for Solomon, and the play breaks down. Tanaka working hard for it. Tanaka, lucky there. He got a tackle in that brought his man down, bearing in mind that Tanaka's already been booked. Swartow went down just after the halfway line as well. Referee brings it back for that foul, but not for the first one. But Tanaka, Tanaka's lucky there. The referee let that go. That could have easily been a second yellow card. The second foul was by Ampadu. And that didn't look that bad. Not as bad as Ampadu's did, as Tanaka's did. Coaching staff having a bit of an argument. Farker there. I think the Norwich bench was saying that Tanaka should have been sent off. Daniel Farker arguing the point that he shouldn't. It's getting a bit heated, but we get back to the play, to the free kick that's going to be taken by Norwich. It's halfway inside the Leeds half. It's taken short, goes out to the left. Slayed back and then chipped into the box. It's flicked on, missed by everybody. Bogle heads it away. Norwich still pick the ball up though and recycle it to the halfway line. Comes across to Doyle. The ball ends up back with Gunn as Leeds put the press on. He drives it out, does Gunn. There's an offside on that long ball. Free kick to Leeds on the halfway line. Leeds making substitutions already. That's unusual. Looks like Gruev and Fairpo coming on. You kind of think that must be injury substitutions. I would imagine Gruev's coming on for Tanaka, who's on a yellow card and then lucky not to get a second one then. Ball goes down the line onto the chest of Dan James, but he can't keep it in. Norwich come away with it on this right-hand side. Played back inside. Fisher lays it back. Gets it back, Fisher. Going back to the Duffy to Doyle. Doyle gets it out to the left-hand side, halfway. Comes back to Doyle, though. Duffy. Played it inside to McLean. Gets it back, does Duffy, from McLean. Ball's not going forward. As you can see there, Doyle has the ball. And Duffy has the ball just a bit further back than what he were before. Fisher has it, and he's going back as Leeds put a bit of a press on. Ends up back with Gunn. Oh, he's lost the ball. Comes to Pirro. Pirro with a shot. Oh, and it's deflected, and it's a good save at his near post by Angus Gunn because it was deflected off the defender. Left-footed shot by Pirro. It was going in, needed saving. But Leeds' press wins the ball back on the edge of the box from Norwich, and it's the second time that's happened. Yeah, it was going in. Was going in from Pirro, even though it was deflected. Corner to Leeds. And as I predicted, Tanaka's going off. Save him getting sent off. Fair pose on. Gruev for Tanaka. Fair paw. I don't know. Is that Sam Byram gone off? Is it? It hasn't said yet who's gone off, but I would imagine it's Byram. Byram, yeah, for fair paw. Corner comes in from the right. It's headed away though. Race to the right hand side to pick the ball up, and Anders has done well. Aronson almost got in there. Thought it was a Leeds ball. Lino gives it the opposite way. Leeds putting the squeeze on again as Gunn has the ball at his feet. It's played into the centre. Leeds have won the ball back, have they? The deflection favours Norwich and they come away on the left. Marcones has laid it back. Doyle has it. Gives it to McLean. Comes out to the right. Stacey goes back to Duffy. Back to Doyle. Doyle plays it out to the left. Ball down the line, but it was read by Gruev. Gruev plays the ball out. It's a throw to Norwich. Goes all the way back. Back to Doyle. Played inside to McLean. McLean plays the ball forward. Gruev wins the ball. Foul, says the referee. Free kick to Norwich. More substitutions warming up for Leeds. Joseph, Ramazani. Long ball down the left. It's not going to keep that in though. It's too far. Joseph, Ramazani. That was Nonto was there or not? Willie Nonto. Norwich away on the right, but Fairpo picks the ball up and overlaps across the halfway line on the Leeds left, plays it back inside to Solomon. Give it to Aronson, who lays it back to Fairpo. Fairpo tries to get his first time crossing, but it's blocked by Stacey at the expense of a corner. Leeds putting a bit of pressure on now. Need another goal. 57 minutes gone. Looks like Norwich are going to make a couple of substitutions. Corner on the Leeds left. Can be a right-footed in-swinger from Joe Rothwell. 7th corner. Can Leeds make something of it? They don't usually. Can I make something of it this time? So another deep one to the back post. It's a free header. It's a good header as well. Comes back in though. Ball went back out to Rothwell, but he hadn't got back from taking the corner and he's given offside. Pity. Srinac comes on for Norwich. Hernandez goes off. Srinac comes on. Sargent comes on. Swartow goes off. Free kick. Deep inside the Norwich half. It's played down the line. It's headed inside. Sargent battling for the ball already. Gets it out to the left. It's well played by Bogle. He won the ball there and he was double teamed. If he'd lost that, Norwich might have been away. And eventually he's brought down by Bogle. And it's a free kick to Leeds. Well played by Bogle. If he hadn't won that ball back, they'd have been away down the left. So it was good defending on his part. Ampadu plays the ball to Rodon gets it across to the right-hand side. Bogle. Rodon. Bogle. Run forward by Aronson. I think it was meant for him, but it's cut out by McLean. Sargent plays it out to the right-hand side. Stacey. He has to go back, though. Goes back to Duffy. Into McLean. Filtered out to the left. Ball's played long to the right. Far too long. Goes all the way through to Melier. Melier rolls it out to Rodon. Gets it to Bogle on the right. Gruev. Back to Gruev from Bogle. Into the middle. Pirot holding his man off. Gets it back to Rodon. Sweeps it across to Ampadu on the left. And then to Fairpo. Bit of space for Fairpo to run into. Gives it to Solomon. Solomon skips around his man and comes inside. Still coming inside across the pitch. Then he tried to play it to Pirot. Made a run inside and it went behind him. And then Norwich rolling the ball out on the left, and it's a throw to Leeds. Don't forget to be a subscriber. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, the notification bell, and of course, get your comments in. I always like to see your comments while the game's going on. Let us know what you think about the game so far. As the ball is brought down by Rodon. Gets it all the way out to Melier. Melier brings it under control and plays it long. And that's Duffy who wins the header, but it comes to Solomon. Solomon's going backwards, though. Wins the throw. That's a poor decision by the Lano there. It was quite obviously a throw to Leeds. Farke not happy with that, but play goes on. Duffy. Away down the right-hand side. Stacey overlapping. He's got a chance of a cross. Fairpo gets a foot in, concedes the corner. Leeds are doing exactly what I said at the beginning of the first half. They've failed to kill Norwich off, and Norwich are well in this game at 1-0. You've got an incentive here because they know one goal and they're right back in it. Leeds failing to kill teams off again is causing them problems here. Corner on the right-hand side for Norwich. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger. They're going to look to put this right on the Melier's nose, I would imagine. It is to the back post. Referee's seen a foul in the box there somewhere and gives the free kick to Leeds. I don't know what he saw. Remember, we'll see this here. Didn't see much there, but anyway. Free kick's taken. Ampadu has it. Comes out to Fairpo on the left. Fairpo being given a bit more room than Byron was on this left-hand side. He's got it again now. Going forward. Goes past two men. There's the ball down the line for Solomon, who's got a chance of getting a cross in. He cuts back. Gives it to Fairpo. Fairpo, could he cross it to the back post? He can do. And it's in. James wins the header. And Aronson flicks it off target, but it's still there. Of Leeds, yes, Leeds has scored again. It's Dan James at the back post. And Leeds have got that killer second goal. Aronson had a shot that rebounded off someone and was filtered back to the edge of the box. It was played in by Solomon and went over everybody's head to the back post. And Dan James was there just to side foot it into the far corner and put Leeds 2-0 up. Let's just see how that happened again. Solomon had it. Fairpo inside, puts across to the back post. Dan James goes up for it. Aronson plays it high into the air, and it was going out. And the Norwich player just headed it back into Solomon. And Dan James just puts it in the back post. Why didn't he let that go? Who was that? Fisher. What was he doing? Terrible by Fisher. Aronson had the shot from the Dan James header that was going out, easily going out for a goal kick, and he headed it back in straight into Solomon, who put the cross into the back post, and Dan James sand-footed it in. What was Fisher thinking? James gets Bogle away again down that right-hand side. Aronson has the ball, has to come inside, looking for the run of Bogle, but he ignores that and goes back to Byram, back to Ampadu, across to Fairpo. Rothwell has it now. He cuts inside. Round one, round two. There's out to the right-hand side. So Bogle on the edge of the box. He's going to have a shot. It's Bogle. It's a good save. It's parried away by Gunn. Leeds pick the ball up on the edge of the box with Dan James. He crosses to the back post. Pirot's beaten to the header. Comes out to the edge of the box and is flicked away again. Picked up by Rodon. Filtered to Ampadu. Out to Fairpo. Fairpo being forced back. Goes back to Ampadu. Over the halfway line to Leeds territory, but it goes to Gruev. Gruev gets it across to Bogle. Back to Gruev. Gruev gives it to Ampadu. He comes across to the left. Solomon to pick that ball up. Goes back to Ampadu. Ampadu to Rothwell. To Solomon again. Attacking down that left-hand side again. He's going into the edge of the box. Fairpo helped to win the ball back, but it's going to be... I don't know whether the referee's just given a foul there or not, but... It was a good shot by Bogle. Must have had a bit of curve on it for Angus Gunn to have to parry that, but he did. Stacey on the right-hand side now on the halfway. Engaged by Rothwell, has to go back to McLean. And goes to Doyle. Doyle gives it back to McLean on the right-hand side, just crossing the halfway line, turns back. As Pirot forces him back. Duffy, Doyle, going long again. Easily picked out by Bogle. Paul comes out to the left to Fairpo. Fairpo in no hurry to go forward, lays it back to Ampadu. Ampadu goes out to the right to Bogle, who's tucked inside a bit now. Ampadu gets the ball back. Fairpo wide on the left now. He's got plenty of space again. He plays it inside to Solomon. He gives it to Gruev. Solomon again. His pass is off target this time, looking for Fairpo. It's picked up by Stacey, who goes back to Gunn under pressure from Pirot. Sweeps it out to the left-hand side. Bogle tries to nick the ball off him, but he's gone round Bogle. Bogle fighting back for the ball. Him and Gruev putting pressure on. Norwich still have it, but they're under a lot of pressure. Dan James trying. It has to be thumped away in the end, and Leeds pick the ball up in the midfield. Ampadu striding forward now. Looking for a pass. Gives it to Rothwell. To Bogle. Back to Rothwell. Rodon. Gives it to Aronson. Gives it out to James on the right-hand side. Aronson's made the run into the box. Gets the ball, but is forced back out. Stumbles, keeps the ball in play. Gives it back to Bogle. In fact, it's a poor pass that's behind Bogle. Rodon has to pick the ball up. Gives it to Rothwell. Rothwell to Ampadu. Gruev left of him. Pirro came short, didn't get the ball, goes back to Rodon. Rothwell back to Ampadu. Fairpo. Solomon coming short, gives the ball back to Fairpo, to Ampadu. Rodon, Ampadu. Inside to Gruev, gives it to Fairpo. Fairpo goes back to the halfway line to Ampadu. Leeds dominating position without going too far. Bogle out on the right-hand side. Dan James going down the line, gets the ball from Bogle. Dan James comes into the box on his right foot, still going, gets the ball across to Bogle. Bogle's shot is blocked. Comes back out to Rothwell. He's into the edge of the box now. Goes around one man, goes around two, goes down. Joe Rothwell's going to get a yellow card. Looks a bit unfortunate there. Get a look at that one again. Rothwell goes past one, past a second, past a third. Let's see if we can get that one a bit of a closer look at it now. Yeah, nothing there. Deserved his booking there, did Rothwell. Not great. Looks like 3 substitutions for Norwich now. Substitutions for Norwich. Fisher goes off for Miles. So a change at fullback there. Looks like Willie Nonto's coming on for Leeds. Probably maybe in place of Aronson. Play goes on. Leeds putting the squeeze on as the ball's deep inside the Norwich half. It goes out to the left-hand side, but Dan James has picked that ball. It's a poor pass. Comes into the middle to Rothwell. Rothwell gets out to the right to Bogle. Bogle's tacking inside. He still has the ball. It's been taken away from him. The rebound favours Leeds. Ili Gruev picks it up. He gets out to the right to Dan James. It's Aronson who lays it down for Bogle. Ball's chipped out to the touchline where Leeds get the throw. It's deep in Norwich territory, though. It's only a couple of yards off the corner flag on the right-hand side. Gives Leeds chance to make substitutions. Mano Solomon coming off for Nonto. Or for Ramazani, I would imagine, taking his place. "31 seconds is goal officially timed at. Solomon. Dan James coming off as well for Nonto. Yeah, so James off, Nonto on, Solomon off, Ramazani on. Doesn't weaken Leeds at all. In fact, it makes them just as strong. Ball comes back to the halfway line to Ampadu. Ampadu's going to go all the way back to Melier. Out to the right. Bogle tries to play it forward to Nonto, who's chasing the ball, but it's going to be too far in front of him. He puts the pressure on Gunn, who drives it right-footed. Headers won by Rothwell, brought down by Pirro. Back to Rothwell, then to Fairpo. Can Fairpo keep it in? No, he can't. Throw to Norwich. Daniel Farker just barking out a few orders there. Norwich all the ball back to Gunn, Doyle, McLean, just on the D of the penalty box. Leeds putting the press on. Duffy has the ball, plays the ball inside. Fairpo working for the ball. Foul by Fairpo. Ball's played out quickly to the right-hand side. Stacey's cross is blocked. It's like Ampadu maybe got a bang from that. I think he said, "It's my back." Bang on the back of the head. It's a corner anyway to Norwich on the right-hand side. Left-footed corner from this right-hand side. Under Mellier's nose again. Near post, flicked on. Mellier's coming for it. Gets a strong punch on it. Bogle's not going to keep that in, and it goes out for a throw. Strong punch by Mellier. He'll be pleased with that. His contributions that he's made in this game, although not much, he's done okay. Ball comes out to Duffy. Stacey. McLean goes out to Doyle. Doyle gets it wide. Ball's in midfield there. Goes back to Duffy and then across to Doyle. Doyle goes out wide again. Nonto putting the pressure on. Norwich going backwards. Duffy, Doyle. Just inside their own half. Going further back. Deep inside their own half now. McCartney plays it down the middle, but it's too long for Sargent and goes all the way through to Mellier. Mellier underarms it out to Ampadu, who gets it out to the left to Fairpo. Fairpo plays it inside to Rothwell. He's under pressure as Rothwell. Has to go down the line to Ampadu. Ampadu drives it long, left-footed. Pirro tries to bring the ball under control. Stacey has it. He's lost it to Ramzani. Ramzani plays it into the middle. Gruev does well to hold off, lay the ball off. Rodon goes back to Mellier. Mellier goes long. Looking for the run of Pirro. He's not going to get that ball. It's been headed down again. Ramzani's chasing it. So it's Fairpo. Pulls his man back, gives the foul away. Ball goes out to Doyle. Gives it to Duffy. Doyle coming forward. Ball's picked up by Sargent, who gives the ball away to McLean, who picks the ball up. He's coming across his own defence and lays it out to Duffy on the right-hand side. He goes back to Doyle. Doyle back to Duffy. Stacey down the line. Ramzani gets his foot in, concedes the throw on the halfway line. Stacey goes back to Duffy. Doyle back to Duffy. Leeds put the press on and force Norwich back, but they've managed to filter it through midfield out to the left-hand side. Played across to the right. Dobbin goes round Ramazani, chips one into the box. Must have been offside, was he there? Sargent? No. Play goes on. It's cleared away to the halfway line. It's McLean. Back to Doyle. Back to Duffy. McLean out to the left. Good ball. Cuts back inside. Man supporting. Left-footed cross. It is a left-footed cross. It's headed away by Ampadu. Given away by Leeds again on the edge of their own box, though. Out to the right. Dobbin's got a chance to attack the Leeds penalty area. Ramazani does well. Pace, power, and he's fouled eventually. Brought down by Dobbin. Dobbin's going to get a yellow card. Just 9 minutes of normal time left. Leeds comfortable now after getting that early goal in the second half. As I said, it would kill Norwich off, and it has done. There's a contest now. Ball's played inside and down the right-hand touchline to Bogle. Bogle looking for Nonto, but it's too far in front of him, and Doyle comes across. Foul given by Bogle. Aronson working hard, has put a shift in again today without being so creative up front. He's worked hard for his side. Throw to be taken by Fairpo, goes long. Pirro brings it down, spreads it across to the right to Bogle, who's tucked inside. He's got Nonto outside him, gives it to Nonto on the right. He's got a chance to attack his fullback. He hasn't done anything. He's given the ball away, trying to get a cross in. It was blocked. Ampadu picks the ball up on the halfway line, takes no chances, gives it all the way back to Meslier. Back to Meslier from Rodon. Meslier plays the ball forwards, brought down by Aronson from Nonto's header. Bogle's making the run on the outside, gets the ball to Bogle. He has to go back as he's held up. Cuts inside now on the edge of the box. There's it into Ramazani. Ramazani chips one to the back post to Fairpo, who's going to keep it in. Stacey comes out, blocks Fairpo's attempted pass. Still a throw to Leeds, close to the flag on the left-hand corner. Fairpo, Pirro, Rothwell, Bogle. Inside to Pirro. Back to Bogle. Bogle gets it inside to Nonto. Nonto almost through. Doyle got his foot to it, but a 1-2 there, and Leeds that's poor there. Going to get a Pirro's going to get a booking for there on the halfway line. Didn't need to do that really. Norwich went breaking. They were on the halfway line. They're coming away with the ball, but Leeds had plenty behind the ball in defence, and Pirro's just taking a booking for nothing there. $954 from Norwich today. It's good for Norwich from where they've come. $85,000. Going up to 53 in a year or two's time, providing Leeds get to the Premier League, which are looking like they are doing at the moment. They're going back to the top tonight. 5 minutes to go. Stacey's in again there. Fairpo does well to get back. Blocks the cross. Can be taken short. Is that corner, is it? Maybe not. Cameras are on Fairpo. We can't see what's happening with the corner, but it can't be taken quickly because hopefully they would have shown that. The corner is. Be a right-footed away swinger. Here it comes in. Near post, headed away. Helped on by Ramzani. Ramzani forces the defender to play all the way back to Gunn. Gunn gives it to Duffy. Doyle to McLean. McLean looking to go long. He does central, but it's headed away by, I think that was probably Ampadu who got in the way of that pass. Goes all the way back, almost to the penalty box. Duffy coming forward again. Goes long to left, but that's going to be cut out by Nonto. Bogle to Gruev to Nonto. Well played by Nonto. Gets it in back to Gruev. Gruev looking to get it into the middle. Ramazani helps it out to the left to Fairpo. Fairpo looking to get across in. He gives it round to Pirro. Pirro looks like his legs have gone. Pirro looks like he was running through treacle as he went for Pirro's pass. Fairpo's pass there. Didn't get anywhere near it. Rothwell gets the ball back. Gruev. Fairpo. Pass a cross in that's headed away. It's back to Aronson again, though. Still in the box with his back to goal, though. Lays it out to Rothwell. Into Fairpo. Ramzani. Ramzani has a shot from wide, and it's a good diving save to the left by Gunn, or just touches it round the post. Didn't think there was much in that, but it had Gunn scurrying across his goal to make the shot, the save there. See that from the back. He was late going for that, was Gunn. It was going in. It's like Joe Rothwell going off now. And Gilovagi coming on. Gilovagi gets the last couple of minutes, as is usual for Joshua Gilovagi. Getting a good round of applause is Joe Rothwell. Has another good game. Handshake for the crowd. Corner comes in. Near post. Headed high in the air and over the bar for another corner to Leeds. A minute and a half left. Plus whatever time may be added on. Corner from the right again, left-footed in-swinger. Corner coming in now, taken now. Flicked on. And it's almost at the back post to Gilovagi. Pirro flicked it on the near post, and Gilavag at the far post. His first touch would have been to have put it in the back of net, but he just couldn't stretch and reach to it. Would have been great to see Gilavagi score. It's just a fraction, half a yard out of his reach. Great cross by Gruev. Into added time now. 4 minutes. 4 minutes of added time. You can tell how dominant Leeds have been because Norwich haven't had an attempt at goal since the 28th minute. So Leeds have really dominated this half. Fairpo does well with Stacey hassling him in the corner there to win the goal kick, and it's another 3 points for Leeds at home, back to the top of the championship. Melier taking his time, as you would expect with this now. Well, Leeds been 2-0 up with 3 minutes to go. Nonto can't bring the ball down, and it goes out for a throw to Norwich. Ball goes all the way back to Gunn. He gives it to Duffy. Doyle. Back to Duffy. Out to the right-hand side. From Duffy to Doyle. Out to the right. Bogle wins that header. Puts it out for a throw. Duffy has that, almost gives that away. Pirro just on his heels there. Poor pass in midfield. It would have been away Leeds. 2-on-1 if they'd got the ball. Doyle has it now. Goes out to the left. Norwich really lost their ambition now with just a minute and a half to go. It's McLean now. Out to the left. Cross is going to come in now. It goes back. It's behind everybody. Pirro picks the ball up. Gives it to Nonto. Nonto comes inside. Ball's cut out, but then won again back by Gilavagi. Nonto now. Nonto's brought down. It's going to be a free kick in the centre circle. Gilavagi wants the ball. Gives it to Gruev. Gruev goes to Ampadu. Inside to Ramazani. Gives it to Aronson, who turns. Plays the ball in. Nonto for the return. It's out of his reach. It's cleared away. Only as far as Rodon. Then out to Bogle. Bogle goes past his man. Got a chance of putting a cross in. He's still on the wins a corner. Is there going to be time for the corner to be taken? This time is up. No, there isn't. That's it. Time is up. A 2-0 win for Leeds. The two managers shake hands, exchange a hug. But a good win for Leeds. Not the most exciting game we've seen. Leeds dominated play, as they have done a lot of the games this season. Maybe not ruthless enough, but getting that second goal, which made all the difference. Let's have a look at fixtures so far tonight. Let's see. So we know Leeds have won 2-0. Portsmouth are winning 3-1 into added time now against Stoke. Sheffield Wednesday and Bristol City are drawing 2-2 well into added time. And Burnley and Plymouth, well, that's as you were at half-time in the 81st minute now, 5-0 to Burnley. Let's have a look at other scores and fixtures. If I can just bring those up, So UEFA Champions League, let's see what's happening here. Bring those up to date. So Leipzig 2, Sporting Club 1. Shakhtar Donetsk 2, Brest 0. AC Milan beating Girona 1-0 with 16 minutes to go. Arsenal are beating Dinamo Zagreb 2-0 with 8 minutes to go. Celtic and Young Boys are still locked at 0-0 with 8 minutes to go. Feyenoord are beating Bayern Munich 2-0. Now there's a surprise with 18 minutes to go. PSG are beating Manchester City 3-2 with 9 minutes to go. That must mean Man City are out if they don't win this. Real Madrid hammering Salzburg 5-0 with 8 minutes to go. And Sparta Prague are losing 1-0 at home to Inter Milan with 6 minutes to go. So that's it. Thanks to everybody who's been watching tonight. Everybody who's joined in. Before you all do leave, please do hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and that like bell just to help the channel grow. And we really do appreciate everybody who's watched and supported the channel today. It's much appreciated. Join us on Friday. We've got the Sheffield and Hull City game from the Championship, but another one at the top, a vital one at the top and the bottom for both teams. Should be a good game. So hope you can join us then. Until then, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, and we'll see you on Friday.